When you're seeking pleasure, you're seeking an idea of what the mind thinks pleasure could be. Seeking anything is an idea of what it has been predetermined by another mind or by a learning or a conditioned programmed way of saying, if you want to find pleasure, look in these areas. But the mind, it finds pleasure in also argument. Well, I'm not going to look in your areas. I'm going to look in my areas, you see. And we have contradiction and controversy and continual imbalance. To seek for pleasure, let's examine pleasure, is to not accept life in its whole, already pleasurable way that it is. So we're always seeking for something more than what we believe, hope, think, or imagine what is out there. And anything out there that appears to be spectacular, I want in here. Here, 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 anywhere within this vessel that I am. So the idea that without this vessel that I am, none of the spectacular pleasures in life can be experienced. So primarily, the biggest pleasure is having the vessel. That's the biggest pleasure. You'll find many states of mind disappear when you start realizing you're so lucky. Not in the head alone, but all over this body is so fortunate to exist in the pure essence of life that it is. There'll be no states of anger and no states of division, because no one will be looking for another to give them the pleasure. You see? So I won't have to look for some bondage act or having to have money or finances to reap the rewards of my life when it already is life. It doesn't make sense to the wanting mind. It doesn't make sense to the mind of compassion or the aiding mind, the giving mind, because these are states that this, whatever you are, has taken on board as priority. And when we give meanings to say the word pleasure, we give meanings. So my meaning of pleasure is this, and your meaning of pleasure is that. Yeah. We try and compete to get their pleasure because it sounds better than my pleasure, or to deny their pleasure and say, no, you must try this. So what we have done, and I'm using only the word pleasure in every single word that we have created, is once you have a hierarchy of your pleasurable moments, this is pleasure, but this one at the top, I don't get this one much, but it's there, you create a hierarchy in your pleasure world. You create a hierarchy in your happy world. You create a hierarchy in your pain world. Every state of mind has definitions of what it wants and what it doesn't want. what is best and what is worst. What is okay to live with? You see, I'm okay to live with no pleasure as long as pain doesn't come, you see. And how can pain come if pleasure is not sought for? Because pleasure and pain are the same, you see. To the one that is into some sort of bondage, it is pleasurable. To the witness that suddenly comes across it, that's painful. To the one that is experiencing the pleasure from the one that is giving, it is either pleasure or painful. It doesn't matter, you see. You see, I'm not trying to say one is better than the other, they're the same. To each one of us, we have a definition of what we want our life to be like. And that's the whole problem. The whole problem is life is already at bliss state. You see, but when you use the word bliss, you think, oh, why am I not feeling bliss every day of my life? Well, you are. It's just that you mask it, that you seek for other things that appear to be so much more worthy of you. And that's the whole problem. You can't find the worth in yourself. You see, many years ago when this Jesus was so close, so getting involved with what was taking place. Someone says to me, I said, we're all children of God, we're all the same as Jesus. And that was the message that was given. And that's the message in the Bible. And that's the message from everyone. But there's a hierarchy. You see, Jesus is there. You see, and this woman, she said, no, that's blasphemous to say that you are Jesus. I said, I am not saying I am Jesus or you are Jesus. That's a name. The spirit of what Jesus is the same spirit as what all is. The spirit of consciousness. And she didn't understand that, you see, because religion has a concept, an idea, and in her mind this is how religion is. This is how I was taught it. This is how it is given to me in the Bible. This is how I interpret it, and this is how I will live it. You see, so I will be second-rate citizen and second-rate spirit. My reply was, you need to find a worth in you. Oh, I know how worthy I am. I am worthy to know Jesus. And I said, well, where is Jesus? And for a moment, I could sense that smile inside, within her and myself. But the mind denied it. No, Jesus is dead, crucified. No, but he lived for us all. And I said, is he not still living for us all? And she said, yes. I said, but he is living as us all. No, can't take that one. No, there has to be a hierarchy in life. That was the argument. Buddha says everyone balanced, everything same. You see, when Buddhism has to use the word emptiness, it's the only word that cannot be argued with, because primarily we were empty. If you believe in form and you are the body, at some point you were not this form and you were not this body. So therefore there was a change from nothing to something, and when the body dies, your mind says you'll go back to nothing. You see? But during this something stage, can this something take place without primarily being nothing? Straight line nothing. It's proven in the hospital. When the machine is put on and the pulse, put-tum, 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 always returns to flat line. And when everything stops, The flat line doesn't disappear. Oh, he's gone. Flat line gone. Everything gone. Yeah? No. The machine still picks up this sense of livingness. It's a very, very fragile livingness to the ones that's witnessing, because it's no longer operating that what we witness in front of us. But to the one, its livingness is going on. It's going on as this emptiness. So Buddhism and Vedanta, they use self, same. No one denies their self. You see, whether it's a human form self, a spiritual self, a soulful self, a conscious self, a godly self, a Jesus self, a Krishna self, a Brahman self. No one denies. We're all the same self. We're all the same emptiness. It's just that somewhere in our human existence we decided that we want more. Is it because we wanted more and we were not happy with what we are? Or did we lose ourselves and we had to struggle to find out just what we are? Because that's what the whole of spirituality and religion is about. It's not to find more, it's just to find ourselves. So we've went backward and we need to go forward. And of course the process is to go forward, we have to go backward. So we have to remove the states of mind, the meaning, the idea that something will bring me pleasure. You are already the most pleasurable, and you will never not be immensely pleasurable. You see, it's not an act. It's not something you have to do or earn or make effort in. It's just a realization that freedom is not what the mind says it is. Freedom is the ability to look at the mind and see what it is. And when you look at the mind to see what it is, it'll tell you a meaning of what you have learned or been conditioned or programmed into responding to. So freedom means I have to get out of my house. I have to be free from my the governments and the control. Yeah, I have to be out in the ocean on my own. I have to be in an island for my own. I have to be out of this job because it's driving me crazy. I have to be out of this relationship because we just don't love each other. See, the idea of freedom is a man-made concept thing to add on. It's an added on app. It's more freedom than what you are. I want more. How could you have more freedom? How could you be more freer? You see, the idea is I want to be free from this body. I want to be free from this brain, this mind. I want to be free from the thoughts. What do you have to do? Remove I, remove me, remove person, remove go backwards, go inwards, to go outwards. You see? Yeah, that's why they say God is up there, but that's a shortcut. You see, here to there, head, hand, God up there. No? Well, let's take the long way, you see. Let's take the long way back home. Let's not take the shortcut. Where is God? Where is the door? You see, St. Francis of Assisi and Rumi say, when the door opened, I was on the inside. Is the door in this brain? Or is the door between the brain and the finger? Is the door between the finger and God? No, the door is here. That's a shortcut, you see. I'm not going this way. I'm going that way. That way. The door is Jesus, Krishna, Buddha. You see? So you're not saying to the lady, I am Jesus. Jesus is within. not just myself. Jesus is within the whole of consciousness. It's the Spirit. The name Jesus is a name. A beautiful name, beautiful form, did many beautiful things, but didn't want more. Actually wanted less. Because to get more, you have to be less. To find more, you have to find less. So you're not looking for a meaningful mind, an idealistic mind, a conceptual mind. You're looking for a meaningless mind. A mind with no ideas, no concepts, no thoughts. I am that. You see? That's the door. I am that. I am. That's what Papaji says when he points at I am that. He's not looking from here to there. He's experiencing the inner eye saying, I am that. There's no difference between outside and inside, you see. There's no difference between God up there and in here. There's no difference between Jesus on the cross and in here. There's no difference between Krishna and Arjuna in here. Everything is the same within here. This is the door to freedom, the door to liberation, the door to pleasure. You don't have to open it. You don't even have to go through it. It is what it is, as it is. I truly is. You see, that's the best statement you'll ever hear. In one moment, one whole, infinite, boundless, tranquil, pure, profound moment, I truly became, and I now truly is. But what else to say? No pleasure here. Pleasure is beyond the idea of what pleasure is. Happiness is beyond the idea of what happiness. Love is beyond the idea of what love is. We give it meanings to pacify our life, to make our life seem slightly worthwhile. Like the lady, slightly worthwhile following a dead man. Yeah? What we're really following is the spirit of the man, the spirit of ourself, the spirit of life, the spirit of consciousness, the spirit of God. Not denying the man on the cross, absolutely in love with the spirit of the man on the cross. Same as every man, every woman, every child, every animal, every molecule, every atom, spiritually here. I truly is.